Okay, folks, now we're going to move forward and we're going to do a little walkthrough of how you actually use Zoom. So let's assume that you have, we'll all pretend and imagine that you have set up a Zoom account for yourself. You've maybe done the free version or the pro version, but either way, you're going to need to log in at that account. And when you log in, you can go to the My Account area. And so as you see on the left navigational area, it's going to have your profile, which is the tab that's up right now. Now we'll go through this. This is important. So when you get a Zoom account, whether it's the free version or the pay version, you get what is your personal meeting ID. That's the first thing you see here. Let me try to make this a little bigger. Okay, so that is, remember, this is all digital. All of this is happening digitally, but metaphorically speaking, this is a room, what they like to have you think of as your meeting room. This code, for me, it's 707-803-8179. It's going to allow me to have an imaginary room that I can always meet with people in. So if I have clients, I can give them this number and say, keep this number. This is always the number for my meeting room. And then anytime that I schedule a meeting with them, they can use this number to enter the meeting room with me. Now, the obvious drawback of that is if clients don't understand, if you don't have boundaries with them, they're going to think they can just pop in this number and hope they catch you hanging out in the room, which in theory they could do while you're having a meeting with another client. So you need to think about how you want to give out this number and use it. Your other option, okay, don't get too caught on it as an absolute concrete thing. You can use this option, or your other option is you go to the meetings tab on the left nav. See, so they have, when you go to the meetings area, it shows you the first tab. It shows you any scheduled update meetings that you have. I have none scheduled right now. It'll show you your previous meetings. I'm not going to hit that tab because that could have clients' personal name information. All right. But any previous meetings you can go back and check on. And then it has this tab for your personal meeting room, like I was talking about. So you can, you can schedule to have a meeting in that meeting room, and you can integrate your Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar, your Yahoo calendar. There's your meeting ID. You can copy the link to that meeting room and send it in an email to your clients. And you can change your settings for how you want that meeting room to work. When you go to the room, do you want it to have the video on right away, or do you want it to be set so it's not on right away and you need to turn video on yourself? Same thing with audio. Do you want to have the audio on right away? These are all settings that can be controlled. And you can even set up these meetings and save them as templates, which I don't do, but I realize I should. I should have a couple different, where these settings are all set in advance, and you activate the kind of meeting that you want to have by turning on the template. So if you want to set up a meeting that is a private meeting that doesn't use your usual meeting room, you use this schedule a new meeting button, right? And what it's going to do is it's going to generate a special digital room just for you. So you click on set up a meeting, and then my meeting with Paul. You can put a description in, set the date, set the time, set the duration, and then do you want to require a password? This is how secure these things have become now, is you can say, I'm going to require a password for this meeting, and the client has to enter the password to get into the room. That way no one gets in that shouldn't be there, right? We can offer our clients this level of privacy and security. Right? Meeting options. Do you want the client to be able to enter the room before you? And when I say room, remember, I'm saying it's a digital imaginary room. Do you want it to mute them upon entry? You can do all of these things to control what kind of a meeting experience they have. And I know that may be a little overwhelming for some of you, but you'll get into it the more you use it. Then when you've got all these settings, the date, the time, the settings for the meeting the way you want, you save it. And then it has now saved it, and you can say, well, I want to keep track of my stuff, right? So I love to use Google Calendar. So I click, yeah, I want that going into my Google Calendar on this account. So I click that account. I have 2 accounts with Google. It says, do you want to allow Zoom to access your calendar? Yes, I do. And then it pulls up your calendar and it puts the meeting right in. Okay. So now it's funny. Okay. So it just gave me a no, it didn't, because Google had a little, I'm logged into my other account than the one I chose. But the funny thing is, even though it looked like it didn't work, I've had that happen before. When I go back and I go to my calendar, it will be there. So because I'm recording this for you guys, you couldn't even see my calendar. It opened up a separate tab, but it will be there and it will be in my calendar. So that way you're keeping track of the meetings you're setting up and you're organized. So that's your dashboard, allows your meetings. If you have the webinar feature, I'll click on the webinar tab. Same thing, but for webinars. And there's a slightly different creation process. And then any meetings that you record, there's a recording tab. Again, I'm not going to click on that because that will show the names of clients I've had recordings with, and I want to protect their privacy. But the recording tab takes you and you can access those recordings. When you set them up to record on the cloud, they're archived and then you can download them later. And then there's a settings tab. Again, you can preset how you want your meetings to work. Do you want the video on right away? Do you want the participants' video on right away? There's all kinds of security settings and things like that so that you can really control your meeting experience and provide a good experience for your clients. Now, the catch is, that's what you do on your end. They still have to control their Zoom on their end as well, which clients have to get used to sometimes, but it's a pretty neat thing to be able to do. So here's a look at your Zoom dashboard. We've gone through meetings. There's a similar process. See, there it is. It's scheduled now. There's a similar process for webinars. You have your profile, right? All that stuff is there, shows you your settings. And you can even get into, from your dashboard, your payment, how you set up your credit card and all that stuff. But as you see, it's all just clicking through. You're just clicking through, scheduling meetings, creating a meeting on a spot. If I had a client who called me and said, I just need to talk to you real quick, I'd say, yeah, no problem. And I'd go to this up in the upper right where it says join a meeting. That could be me meeting with someone else. I'd go to host a meeting and I'd say, all right, I'm going to pull up a meeting right now for you. And I would do host a meeting with video on, and it starts to turn it right on. You see? So I'm going to cancel it because, again, I don't need to confuse my computer any more than it already is. But pop it right up then and there, send the link to your client and get them in on a meeting. We're going to do more of these. Keep coming back. We're going to show you more about how to use Zoom, and we're going to help you get your business focused more on doing online sessions with clients. Thanks so much.